How to win the battle for instant noodles. The girl has a firm look in her eyes, holding a bowl of instant noodles in her hand, and is chased by a competitor behind her.
In the apocalypse, the first challenge begins. In the chaotic shopping street, we must race against time to find food.
The girl hid behind the stall and watched the surroundings.
The night market used to be a place where people enjoyed food. Now, it's our battleground for scavenging supplies.
The girl found an instant noodle box in front of the stone lion, in front of the temple, with a smile on her face.
In front of the abandoned temple, we find a glimmer of hope. There might still be some noodles in the old ramen box.
Girl and her friend are climbing the roller coaster track to find hidden instant noodles.
The roller coaster in the amusement park has become our hunting ground. We must find the ramen hidden up high.
The girl is rummaging through the storage cabinet behind the game console.
The lights in the arcade remind us of joyful times, but now it's a game of survival.
The girl stood in the dilapidated subway car and found a package of unopened instant noodles.
The subway station has become an underground labyrinth, with danger lurking at every turn.
In a deserted office, the girl rummaged through piles of documents, trying to find instant noodles.
The office no longer buzzes with work, only traces of our struggle for survival remain.
In a fast food restaurant, the girl found an abandoned instant noodle bowl behind the counter.
The fast food restaurant has become our temporary shelter, but we know we can't stay long.
The girl found a pack of instant noodles in the broken window and picked it up in surprise.
The department store once symbolized luxury. Now only endless destruction remains.
The girl found a pack of instant noodles in the kitchen and raised it happily.
The aroma of the traditional noodle shop has long faded, leaving only the urgency to survive.
On a dilapidated suspension bridge, the girl found clues about instant noodles.
The large suspension bridge has become our life and death checkpoint, each step a choice between life and death.
The girl found a pack of instant noodles at the pier, with her eyes closed and a satisfied expression on her face.
The tranquility of the fisherman's wharf has been replaced by destruction. Here we seek our last hope.
The girl, looking nervously and expectantly, looked at the screen in the control room, waiting for the reward to be announced.
After many bizarre scenes and rule challenges, we finally passed the final game level. However, the reward is another bowl.